Good evening. Will this meeting of the School Board of Independent School District 279 please come to order? It is the 5th of January 2016 and the time is 6:04 p.m. Seated in front of you this evening is, from my left to your right, is Director Jessica Craig, Director Linda Edom, Director Jackie Gertz, Director Dean Henke, Director Jim Burgett, Director Bob Gerhardt, and Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kate McGuire. Would everybody please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, in front of you is the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, I would move to accept the agenda as printed. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Gertz. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries to accept the agenda as printed. Our next agenda item is the election of officers. And our first board position is the board chair. And so I will open nominations for the board's chair.
Outgoing Chair Henke. I would like to nominate you, Dean Henke, as the chair of the school board.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close nominations. All those in favor of Director Dean Henke being the chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Director Henke, myself, will serve as the chair for 2016. Our next board position is the vice chair. And with that, I will open nominations for office of vice chair.
Chair Henke.
Director Gertz.
I'd like to nominate Bob Gerhardt for vice chair.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close nominations for the board vice chair. And with that, we have Director Gerhardt being nominated. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries, and congratulations. Director Gerhardt is the board's vice chair. Our next board position is the clerk, and I will open nominations for the board's clerk. Do we have any nominations?
Mr. Chair,
Director Gerhardt.
I'd like to nominate Jackie Gertz for clerk.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close nominations for the board's office of clerk. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations, Director Gertz, our new board clerk. And our next board position is the treasurer. I will now open nominations for the office of treasurer, and I will nominate Director Burgett for treasurer. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close nominations for the board's, I'm sorry, did I say clerk or treasurer? Treasurer. So with that, we have Director Burgett on the slate for treasurer. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations, Director Burgett, the board's treasurer.
Thank you.
Our next agenda item is authorization of compensation for school board members. The Minnesota Statute 123B.09 Subdivision 12 states the clerk, treasurer, superintendent of any district shall receive such compensation as may be fixed by the board. Unless otherwise provided by law, the other board members of the board shall also receive such compensation as may be fixed by the board. In May of 2006, the board approved compensation for the school board chair at $700 per month, school board clerk at $625 per month, and other persons on the school board at $600 per month for the 2006 calendar year. In addition, the board approved $50 per month for each board member as reimbursement for expenses, including in-district mileage incurred as a result of attendance at school board and other related meetings. The combined monthly compensation totaled $750 for the board chair, $675 for the board clerk, and $650 for other board members. And so with that, the last board member compensation increase was in 2006, and so from the period of 2007 to 2015, that's a time period of 9 years, there's been no increase in the board's compensation. And I'll just, well, actually, I'll do it the correct way. And so I would move to recognize the existing and continued commitment of service to the Osseo School District by our board members. I move that the 2006 board member compensation be increased by $100 per month. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Gertz. So with that, I will now open it up for comments. And I'll just start with some comments I had jotted down. Although the majority of our current board members haven't served throughout this period of time, they'll be able to tell you firsthand the time commitment necessary to become an effective board member. Our newest board members are learning firsthand the time commitment necessary. We have board meetings, work sessions, preparation for board meetings and work sessions, labor negotiations. Our newer members and even some of our existing members will have MSBA training, various committee assignments, liaisons to other boards. We have board member development, together as a group. We're currently undertaking equity training. We haven't had any recently, thankfully. Budget reductions, listening sessions for budget reductions, boundary change listening sessions, meeting with legislators, meeting with the public. And while the board, I believe, is able to attract quality candidates, our ability to retain them beyond one term has been challenging. The role of a board member, while fulfilling at times, has many challenges. There are work and or family commitments, other interests. And for me, I would just add the arduous decisions over time have an impact on each of us. So while we have periods of time where things go along fairly well, there are times, and in those times they come, where things can be very challenging for board members. So those are my comments, and I will ask if other board members have comments.
Mr. Chair,
Yep, Director Burgett.
I echo a lot of your same statements. This is a significant investment of time that's not to be taken lightly. However, with that said, when I look at the MSBA compensation survey, which thank you for forwarding to us, it looks like we're in the hunt. You know, we're paid or compensated near where about we ought to be. So while I can't, I mean, if we, at one point, I guess a couple years ago, we went through the exercise of calculating how much per hour we would have been paid had we been paid hourly, and it was kind of amazing how low that was. But at this point, I still think that people do this, provide this function, obviously not for the money, because you couldn't pay someone to do this. But with that said, I'm going to not support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Burgett. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair,
Director Gerhardt.
I just want to echo my appreciation for you sending around the competitive survey, looking at other districts. But I would also say that looking district to district may not exactly be an accurate way to compare ourselves to other elected officials. This isn't really a Me Too sort of thing, but if you compare ourselves to what local city officials are making, local committee directors, other elected positions such as that, as a function of the budget that we're tasked with overseeing, as a function of the responsibilities that we're being asked to weigh, even if we were to get an increase, we'd still be one of the biggest bargains in government per individual. We weigh the fates of thousands of individual young people every time that we meet. I go to city meetings once in a while, and I see them debate for 20 minutes how high some shrubbery should be around a building, and I just kind of chuckle to myself thinking, wow, these people are making twice as much per month as I do, and this is as heavy of the duties as they seem to be weighing. So I think that we also need to look at the responsibilities and fraction of budget that we're taking up.
Thank you. Director Gerhart, any other comments?
Director Hinkie.
Director Edom.
Chairperson Hinkie. I kind of agree with Bob. I also think that looking at that chart that was provided by MSBA may not be accurate because we actually don't know how many meetings that other school districts have their board members attend. And I do think that we spend at these meetings, particularly the negotiation meetings, wee hours of the night negotiating contracts, and a lot of people do have family obligations that they are not neglecting but have to put aside because of attendance at these meetings. And so I'm not afraid to compensate myself for the work that I do, and I don't think any of us should be. So I would support the motion.
Thank you, Director Edom. Any other comments? So hearing none, so we have a motion and a second. And so the motion was to increase school board compensation by $100 per month for the year 2016. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, and so the motion passes on a 4-2 vote. Our next agenda item is school board reports, and we have a 12/15/2015 work session. Director Craig.
Thank you, Chair Hanke. A school board work session was held on December 15th, 2015. The outcomes of the work session were that board members would, 1, be informed on the world's best workforce strategic plan priority result on new grade span implementation, 2, understand board committee and liaison opportunities for 2016, and 3, complete the superintendent's mid-year formative evaluation. The work session began with an update by each of the grade span project team leaders. 4 project teams have closed out their work: logistics, human resources, technology, and high school facilities. The focus for the 2015-16 school year is on high school programming, out-of-school time programming, and middle school design. The high school programming team is working on expanding opportunities for students to earn college credit in high school, online and blended courses, experiential learning experiences, and support for 9th graders transitioning to the high school. The out-of-school time project team has 4 program-related goals: to increase academic achievement, decrease involvement in risky behaviors, improve access to employment, and enhance life skills. The team will make decisions about program expansion in January. They are also planning for summer programming. The middle level design report reviewed the essential attributes and 16 characteristics of effective middle schools, described the themes from the middle school parent survey, and outlined the most recent proposal for the progression of middle school electives. Next, the middle level design team will focus on the advisory program and the gifted education cluster model, differentiation, and the math course sequence. School board members then discussed committee and liaison opportunities in preparation for the January 5th organizational meeting. And the work session ended with a closed session to complete the superintendent's mid-year formative evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Craig. Our next agenda item is the formative evaluation summary. And so as Director Craig had mentioned, the school board had met in December with Superintendent McGuire to review feedback from school board members regarding her mid-year evaluation. The board's mid-year evaluation of the superintendent is very positive. Kate has a thorough understanding of the major components of her position, and through her actions demonstrates a high level of competence. Kate keeps board members informed of all major issues that impact our district. She meets with board members on an individual basis to establish and maintain a good working relationship. Kate has created the environment to build relationships and trust by intentionally providing the opportunity for students, parents, staff, and community members to participate in shaping major decisions. Her guidance and instructional leadership is ongoing and will require the successful navigation of adaptive challenge. With the recent grade SPAD change in middle school design, ongoing support and monitoring will be needed to ensure a successful implementation. Her organization management planning is forward-looking and is valued. The board affirms the superintendent's direction and progress in leading the district. You are welcome. And I know we didn't talk about if you had any comments, that would certainly be appropriate. If not, you don't have to.
No, I just want to thank board members for providing feedback. It's what we want all of our leaders to do for students that we work with, and teachers to do for students, and principals to do for teachers. So I appreciate your work to do that. It's another example of the work that school board members do. So thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you. And our next agenda item is the consent agenda. Board members, are there any item or items that you would like to remove for separate consideration? I'll just give you a minute to look again. So it's a lot of our housekeeping for the beginning of the year. Newspapers and signatures, funds. So not hearing any, anybody need any more time? Okay. So not hearing any, I would move to accept the consent agenda as printed. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Gertz. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to accept the consent agenda as printed. And our next agenda item is review of the 2016 school board representatives to committees and other entities. I don't know that I do it. Trying to even think, did we read them? Do I read them all? Or do we just let them?
You could, Mr. Chair, it's up to you.
Yeah. Might be a little out of order. Does anybody have any questions on the committees? Any last minute hopes and wishes for a committee assignment? Okay, hearing none. So I will move to accept the school board representatives to committees and other entities as contained in the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Edom. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to accept the board committee assignments as noted in the agenda. Our next agenda item is informational items, and we have announcements. Director Edom.
Thank you. A school board work session will be held on Tuesday, January 5th, 2016 at 6:15 p.m. in the Forum Room at the Educational Service Center. The topics will be the legislative platform, long-term facilities maintenance, and federal magnet school grant opportunity. This meeting will be open to the public. A regular school board meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 19th at 6 p.m. in the boardroom at the Educational Service Center. This meeting will be open to the public. A negotiation strategies meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 19th, 2016 at 7 p.m. in the room N10 at the Educational Service Center. This meeting will be closed to the public.
Thank you, Director Edom. And our last agenda item is adjournment. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Director Gertz. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Director Gerhart. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:22 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Gosh.